Hello everybody, this is Robbie from Southern California, and I wasn't even planning on doing a video. I was just videoing birds flying around, and I thought, I did a midnight tour the other night, and I thought I should show you in comparison what it looks like during the day and just quickly go over what is growing and what I've done. And I am going to do this really quick. I still have grass growing. This is red wheat for the dogs. That's just weeds. I haven't even done anything here. Pomegranate seeds, and this is lettuce that is bolting. I've been leaving it. I'm going to collect some, but the goldfinches have been coming in and bringing their babies, and they love the lettuce. So I'm going to leave the lettuce seeds for now. I'm going to collect some and let them continue to feed on it. That's just some hummingbird feeders I make. They're all props. They're all props. Don't worry. They're not eating ice cream. I will say very quickly that with all the props that I make, look at this. I'm standing 3 feet from this bird. They love the ice cream feeders. It must be the most comfortable for them to sit on and feed off of. And I am gonna get a video up if it's not up yet. I will make sure a link goes to on how I make those. They're so incredibly easy, and it's the favorite of the hummingbirds. Tomatoes are growing. That's coming from the bottom. This is last year's tomato. I did not plant it, but it's doing fantastic. So I'm leaving that, and look, we have a visitor. We have a lizard on the deck. Then this is, I'm not going to go into details because all the details on how I'm doing this is on all the other videos. Otherwise, this would be an hour. This has got the compost in place, the little container there. And this zucchini has given us, this plant, so much zucchini. You saw the picking of the other one that was so big. And look at this. I do have to get that off. I don't want to remove it until I'm ready to cook it. But here's the thing, it's not going to produce anymore until I get at least the big one off. So I'm going to get it off soon, but I want to kind of use it maybe for pickling or something. And as long as I get it off, I've talked about this in my other video, and use it right away. The seeds won't even have developed yet. You can leave the seeds in. Purple curly kale. Isn't that gorgeous? It is just beautiful. This is chocolate mint, but it's just here to cover my little container that I compost and place in there with. So I can move it anywhere I want. This is celery. It was the peppermint stick. It also went to seed. And I'm leaving that also for the birds, but I am going to start trimming some of it down. I don't need that much. Let's move over here. Oh, these are apple trees that came up in my compost. Here is garlic chives. Doing wonderful. Everybody should grow garlic chives. Everybody. Let me move this over. Okay, now I've got a cucumber growing here, a cucumber plant. We have gotten cucumbers off of that, and that's winding around, and that's coming from the bottom. And this is another little container that I compost in, and I sit it in there. See, there's all kinds of critters under there. Those are tomato seeds coming up. I actually sometimes squeeze a tomato, and then I can grab the plants that come up in there and move it wherever I want. But look at this. I want you to see this. This is malabar spinach. Just by the way, we're getting rained on. We have sun and rain. Look at the malabar spinach. This is one plant, and it's in that pot down there. And it's coming around, and it's coming this way around and winding up the poles. I love these poles. I can put as many together as I want and make them as long as I want. Look at it, it's going up. And then look at the other one. Let's step back and look at the other one. This one went across, this is yarn, went across the yarn, went around my cucumber plant. I think there was a little cucumber there. And went up and through here and up the pole. It's gonna keep going up. Isn't that amazing? It is beautiful. This is one plant. It's so big. Oh, and this is dill. Dill went to seed, and I've been collecting the seed. I'm going to have to use the brown leaves. I don't have a lot of dill right now because I want to make pickles, and I do like just using salt and dill. That's all I use. My little moringa, I've got to get that somewhere else. That came up in this little thing that I planted it in, a soup container, this is a milk container or something. Celery, this is just from my own garden. I bought it once, and once I planted it, I've been having celery everywhere. And again, this went to seed. So a lot of times I just grab the seeds and I sprinkle them around. Oh, look at this. One asparagus. Isn't that funny? I think I'm going to find a place for it too. Let's see, what else is down here? This is my blueberry plant, and I have not planted it yet. Oh, I see lettuce coming all through my blueberry plant. Oh, because of the lettuce up here on the deck. So it's falling in there and it's growing. But there's another moringa. See, a little moringa plant there. And that got knocked over. We'll have to fix that up. And then, let's see, mint. And another cucumber. Or is that the same one? That's the same cucumber. Nope, that's a different cucumber. It's another cucumber plant. And then mint, more mint, and then celery. And there is a moringa in there somewhere. You have to find it. And then, oh look, I did not know this. Look at that. I've got a cucumber. I might just put it like that so I can see it. All right, and what else? Oh, walking onion. I stick walking onions everywhere. That is my favorite onion. You can use the whole thing, remember. You can use the bulb and everything. It's just that once you use the bulb, you don't have any more. You know, that's the end of the plant. So I generally don't use the bulbs, but you can. If you're growing a ton of it, use the bulbs, most certainly. This is also, I'm leaving it right now for the birds. This is just Swiss chard, green Swiss chard, also went to seed. I will collect the seed and spread it around. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a good thing. I sprinkled some dill in here, so I am going to get some new dill. Look how quickly it came up. I don't need a lot, just a little. So the dill is coming up with the cucumber. Tomato plant that came up here, and again, more of my lettuce. This is romaine that all just went to seed. And now you can see all the plants growing in here. Look how beautiful this is. I did buy this. It's a tricolored sage. It's just gorgeous in a container. This is garlic. Really wrong time of the year, but it's growing. And these are baby, see, this is the walking onions. See the little tiny bulbs? I went into the garden and some of them were falling off. So I just kind of stuck them in there and they will grow. Even the tiniest ones will grow. So if you're growing walking onions and you think, oh, it broke off before it developed anything, don't worry about it. It will grow. Watermelon. Oh, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Kind of a silly thing to put in there. But it does have little tiny watermelons. So we'll have to see if any of them make it. I don't even know how I'm going to grow watermelon on the deck here. That would be entertaining if it really makes it. And then purple. Look at that. This is the seeds. See the seeds? This is seeds. It looks like pollen from the celery. But this is purple basil. This I need to move. I left my paper cups there, and see how the paper cups go into the ground and just kind of disappear? Well, this is not supposed to be there. So I've got to move my zucchini that I planted in the paper cup. I didn't get that anywhere. And another tomato that I just squeezed the seeds there while I was eating it. And all these plants came up. So I've got to move that. Lavender. I got to get the lavender plant planted too. I bought one just to have. Maybe I'll make tea or something out of it. And more purple curly kale. Absolutely gorgeous. So happy on the deck. And this is that other system. Not going to get into details. How I compost in place right in there. And that is what's feeding this Brad's Atomic Tomato. This is amazing. We've been picking it and eating them. Very sweet tomato. Look how beautiful. This is the one that's got over 100 tomatoes on it. They grow in clusters and it's just full. I don't know how long the plant will last for, but I keep composting in there. So we'll see what happens. And then again, the whole system. It's a whole system here on each end where I compost in place. You know that in the bucket, cascading effect. It will go into the bucket, go into that container, and then go down, and I can use that. That's some parsley down there. And this is another tomato plant. And it is doing fantastic. I mean, this is unbelievable. How much food? Literally, I find myself a lot of times just coming out on my deck garden, picking what I want to make for either lunch or dinner, and not even picking from my own garden. There's so much food here, and I'm not even done. I've got all these containers that I compost in place. I've showed you. These are movable, too. See? Oh, look at the earthworm. I hope you could see that. I did not put the earthworms in there. Isn't that cool? So it came from the bottom. This is the movable one. I could pick this up and move this to any container, and it's now feeding this little, it was a little squash. It's taking off, so we'll see how it does. I love those containers. Either if you're done and you want to reset it up as something else, you just pick up the container and move it to another container or in the ground wherever you're growing. These are all movable. I'm composting in place. I can either open the lid. Oh, that's a slug. You should not be there. I'll deal with you later. I'm not really worried about it because birds do come and pick a lot of those off too, or the lizards do. But I haven't even had any slug damage to speak of. Maybe a little bit. That might be a little bit of slug damage, but I don't worry about that. So you need insects to bring the birds. But, you know, if I wasn't doing the camera right now, I'd probably drop them over the side. Maybe I'll drop them over the side anyways. Let them go somewhere else to go eat. Goodbye, slug. We'll find something else. All right. So that's basically it. Tomatoes are growing in there. Again, places I just squeeze. I shouldn't do that, but I want to get them moved or out. And this is all different types of kale. And the birds have been coming and eating them too. And another tomato plant that came up. Some mint, but this mint is in a container, so I can move the mint. It was just a cutting. I had taken a piece to eat, and I stuck it in a little tiny pot, and it just took off. And what else is here? Let's back up. Let me swing around this way. And then I've got my onions. You saw me plant that. I had a lot of people say, oh my gosh, you're doing it all wrong. Well, you know what? I put like 30 onions in there, and onions grow in their own little container, basically. They don't care how many are in there. Look at that lizard. The onions don't care. They just keep growing. So I pick them as I need them. I'm almost out. There's an onion there. There's an onion there. But see, they've fallen over, so they're done growing because of the heat. It's the wrong time of the year. But I leave them in here, and I just lightly, oh, more dill. I've been throwing dill all over. I lightly water it because you don't want them to rot. Technically, you should take them in the house and store them, but I'm not going to. That's just me. I'm not going to. So when I need an onion, I come out here, I pop it out, and it's been fantastic. That's going to be my to-do thing this fall. I am going to plant a couple hundred onions because they're so easy to maintain, and there's nothing nicer than coming out, grabbing an onion, a fresh onion, knowing there's no growth inhibitors on it. There's no spray. It is all organic, and you pick them as you need them. And so what if they're real small? Some of them are small, you can see, and some of them got really big. This one's not too bad. Small onions at the store cost a lot. See the onion? They were nothing when I put them in there, teeny little sets. So I have onions when I need. If I want to buy from the store some extra, I can buy some more. But this has worked out. That was an experiment, and it worked out fantastic. So I overcrowded them. They still grew, and I picked in between. And then as you pick in between, when you need a small onion, whether it's for a sandwich or for a stir fry or soup or anything, tacos, whatever, when you pick the one in between, then it starts growing the other ones. They have more room, and they just keep on growing. It worked out fantastic. This is my little oregano plant, which is quite happy here. See, it's in another container in this container because these upside down containers are too shallow. More tomatoes down there, more tomatoes, and of course, walking onions. And then this is garlic chives. Everybody should grow those. And when you grow them, you separate them. See, from the bottom? You just separate them off, and that's how you would grow more. And that's all you have to do. They'll kind of split off, and you separate them. And just keep planting them, and they will go to seed, and when they go to seed, just sprinkle them around. They come up everywhere. This is parsley, and my parsley is all going to seed. And again, more lettuce and more mint. All the mint on the deck here that you see is chocolate mint because I use that to make tea. I don't even have to go out and forage in my garden. Just come out here, and then I've got the orange mint that I showed you over there. And that's it. That's all I have on the deck. So that's it. Oh, that's the orange mint. Here's the orange mint. I brought a piece in, and then it just rooted. So that's it for the deck. And the main thing I want to emphasize here is anybody can have a garden. This is a small area. If I had a quarter of this area and I was only going to grow on one side, I could still grow enough food, enough greens for 2 people, especially one. But 1 or 2 people, you can grow so much in one container like what's sitting over there. That's another video. I'm doing that really soon, hopefully today. And it's amazing. You don't need to have an acre or 2 acres of land. We got 2 acres here. We don't even use the 2 acres. I've got the trees growing all over, and yes, we have flowers growing all over, but we don't use it. I mean, if I was doing a farmer's market, but we just grow in different gardens. Gary's got his garden, which you have seen is down there, down the hill, which has a different microclimate than mine, plus he set up his differently. And then mine is just above it. And this is, just has been great. So what I'm trying to do is get you to grow something. And then you'll get enzymes in your body, you'll get everything you need because you grew it, and there's nothing on it. There's no chemicals, no nothing. And then while you're doing it, enjoy the birds. You don't have to make props like I do. I do it for fun. I don't know why. But of course they've got their hummingbird feeders. I have like a dozen hummingbird feeders set up. And yet they love their ice cream containers. I've tried all different types. I've tried soda cans, but they love the ice cream containers. They know what it is, and when it's empty, they buzz around my head and they want more. So I hope I've given you just an idea. And plus, like I said, you couldn't see anything at night. It was just so beautiful to come out here and look at everything at night. So I thought I'd do this quick one of during the day. And there are beans coming up too. I think I've shoved some beans around, and I saw a bean coming on down here somewhere. I saw a bean coming up. Oh, I'm not sure where it is right now, but I saw it. Okay, now I don't. As things come, oh, there it is, see? Green beans. The green beans are starting to come up, and I've got to move more stuff around here. Still in pots, more walking onions. And layer. That's the thing I really like to emphasize is layer, 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 because it really does help the plants. And then it helps you as well, because if you didn't water and things started to dry out, when you've got another pot, like even this compost container I've got in here that I use, this holds water, so there's always, because you're watering it, it will always have like a little dampness. So even if everything dried out, the plants can send their roots underneath here and they would have water, and it will not evaporate either. So if everything was dry and you lifted this, this would be, see how the roots are under there? The plants just love it. This would have dampness underneath for your plants. It just works out so good. So with that, I hope I've given you some ideas on maybe how to make a small garden in a container if you don't have the space in your yard. So have a great day, and don't forget, and look at this, it's been raining all morning, and we're at the end of July, and it's beautiful. Yep, we've had some rain. Still hot. I think they said we're like 85, 90 degrees. So have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.